Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Sunia Evelina Auliya and my student ID 24120022. Today I will present about sense and reference in semantics. Okay, let's start. I'll be talking about one of the most influential ideas in semantics and the philosophy of language, Gottlob Frege's distinction between sense and reference. Distinction, introduced in 1892, changed the way philosophers and linguists think about meaning, and it's still central to semantic theory today. Okay, let's start with a puzzle. Consider two sentences. First, the morning star is the morning star. That's true, but it's completely trivial. No one learns anything from hearing it. Now consider the morning star is the evening star. That's also true, but historically, this was an astronomical discovery. The expression that sounds completely different turned out to refer to the very same planet, Venus. So here's the question. If meaning were only about where an expression point to in the world, would sentences should feel equally empty? But they don't. One is informative, though the other is not. The gap is exactly what Frege's distinction is designed to explain. Frege's solution was to say the very meaningful expression has two layers. The first is sense. The mode of presentation is the way an expression presents its object to the mind. The concept or description a speaker grasps when they understand the word. The second is reference. The actual object and the word that the expression picks out. This is mind independent. It's whatever is really being talked about, regardless of how it's described. The key insight is this. Sense determines reference, but the same reference can be reached through many different senses. That's the relationship we just saw with Venus. Let's make the concrete. The morning star has the sense of a bright object seen in the eastern sky at dawn. The evening star has a completely different sense, a bright object seen in the western sky at dusk. Two different senses, two different ways of presenting an object, but put expression coverage on exactly the same reference, the planet Venus. That's why the morning star is the evening star is informative. It tells us that two distinct senses picks out one of the same thing. Without the sense or reference distinction, this puzzle has no clean explanation. A few more points are worth highlighting. Sense determines reference. It's objective and shareable, not a private mental image. And importantly, an expression can have a sense even without a reference error. The present king of France makes perfect sense, but there's no king for it to refer to. Reference, on the other hand, is mind independent. It's the entity or value itself, and for whole sentences, the reference is actually the sentence truth value, true or false, while its sense is the proportion expression. This is exactly why a sentence like Louis believed the man of steel can fly can be true, while Louis believed the mild-mannered report can fly is false. Even though both description refers to the same person, Superman. Same reference, different sense, different true-false that Frege's puzzle solved. So, to summarize, Sense is the mode of presentation, the cognitive route to an object, and it can exist on its own. Reference is the actual thing being denoted, and it depends on a sense having picked it out in the first place. The takeaway is simple, powerful. Meaning is not exhausted by what an expression points to. How it points to it matters just as much. That's why the true statement about the same object can feel so different, and why this distinction remains one of the foundation of semantics. Thank you for watching.